So the question is, what is the mechanism behind synchronicities and how can we increase amount of synchronicities in our lives? Okay. Okay, this is Mike Sigula from TruthTheory.com and welcome to another episode of True Spirituality. This is my series on metaphysics, esotericism, mysticism and spirituality. And this is already episode 20. So if you are new here, please subscribe. We're covering all sorts of very fascinating topics, anything from meditation to psychedelics to reincarnation, karma, law of one, hermetic teachings, how consciousness works, higher self, star seeds, anything in between. So if you are someone who likes these kind of subjects, please subscribe and check out other episodes as well, because this is episode 20 already. So today we're gonna talk about synchronicities, but before we're gonna start, I just wanted to mention that thanks to people on Patreon, we can create more content such as this video. So please support us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/truththeory. Check out different options there. You can ask me some questions directly on Patreon. Sometimes I'm actually doing exclusive videos for you guys as well, such as this one, because someone requested this topic and I thought, okay, let me do a video on synchronicities. So sometimes you can also send me suggestions, things like that, and we can only create content because of help of people such as yourself. So thank you, and check out patreon.com/truththeory. All right, so now let's talk about synchronicities. So synchronicities are basically events or situations that occur but are difficult to explain by conventional mechanisms of causality. And we could say that synchronicities are basically coincidences that don't seem like coincidences. And synchronicity implies some deeper intelligence at work. So examples of synchronicities could be something like you think about someone and like your friend, for example, and a few moments later you bump into this person randomly on the street. Or you need something and you find it. Let's say you want to get answer to some question and boom, you found the video on YouTube, or you found the book, or whatever it is. Or for example, you are thinking about some decision and you are thinking about option A versus option B, and suddenly you get guidance. So for example, the guy in one book, he was talking about going to Mexico and he wasn't sure about it. And one friend told him you should go to Mexico. Then he's on the gas station and he finds a map of Mexico on the floor. So basically synchronicities are events that align, that unfold in organic ways, in more harmonious ways, right? So the question is, what is the mechanism behind synchronicities and how can we increase amount of synchronicities in our lives? Okay, so in this video, I want to share with you my definitions and my views on the topic, and let me warn you that some of my views might seem controversial, other people might have different definitions. I just want to tell you my thoughts based on my experience, based on my investigation, based on my research, and based on my views, basically. So first two things that I want to discuss is higher self and soul plan. So before you are born, you set up some kind of plan of action for your life. So people like Robert Schwartz talk about it in their books. Check out Your Soul's Plan, Discovering the Real Meaning of the Life You Planned Before You Were Born. So he, for example, did investigation, worked with some mediums and psychics to find out why certain people had some kind of illnesses and accidents, and they were able to do some kind of remote viewing sessions and have access to these meetings that they have before they are born, where they set up their plans, basically. So the way it supposedly works is that you set up different events in your life. So let's say in my case it could be something like, I want to come here and do my work as a teacher, philosopher, thinker, whatever, activist. I want to reach this and this specific number of people. I'm gonna meet specific people who are gonna help me to achieve that, and we set up these contracts between ourselves. How we gonna help, where we gonna meet. Obviously you still have free will, right? So you're gonna get these opportunities in life, but you might choose completely different path. So this is important because you come here with a specific plan for your life. There is some kind of path that you want to accomplish. So this is linked to your soul plan. The second thing is that you have something called your higher self. And check out my other videos on higher self. And higher self, really in science, this is the subconscious mind or intuition, but in reality, you are just an aspect of your higher self. This is like your spirit, your full identity. Now, this version of you is just a fragment of your higher self. It's like a filtered version of that higher self that forgot who he is or she is, that is programmed, has personality, which is created by society, media, education system, parents, etc. So you are like this filtered, limited version of your higher self. But you can tune into that aspect of yourself, which you could think about as your intuition or your subconscious mind, that knows what is the best outcome for you. So, you have this kind of path that you chose, right? The conditions like your upbringing, your body, people you're gonna meet, all these different things that are happening in your life are gonna align you and help you to get to that point that you set up for yourself. But you still have free will. You can still, not necessarily follow the path exactly. And then you have your higher self. You could think about it, there is a path. Let's say you're trying to walk from point A to point B, and point B is that, plan you have, the goals in your plan, but you don't really know how to get there because you are kind of like trying different things. You have some directions, you have people you're gonna meet that are gonna help you, events, conditions, predispositions, things like that, but you're still kind of, you get lost a little bit. You might get external programs from society that you're gonna start changing a little bit, doing something else, and your higher self is trying to teach you, show you to get to that point, right? So basically, if you can align with your higher self, follow the path of your higher self that already knows what is the best outcome for you, then you start having more synchronicities, right? So if you follow your path, right, the path that you kind of planned before, because you have predisposition towards some goals already, like your upbringing, your talents, your gifts, people you're gonna meet on your path, etc. And if you try to follow the path of your higher self, things start flowing. You start having more organic events happening for you. So for example, some people see numbers like 1111. Let's say you look at the clock, oh, it's 1111, or 1111 on number plate on the car, something like that. Sometimes you might see these numbers, especially 1111, and that kind of is an indication that you are following your path. You are starting to go more in synchronicities. Another thing is that everything is based on cause and effect and attraction, right? I talk a lot about law of attraction. The more you do certain things, the more you focus on something, the more you attract similar things to your life. So basically, attraction is based on your actions and your intentions. But sometimes we attract things that are not aligned with our higher self or with our soul plan. So you are born here, you have your soul plan, you have your higher self that is trying to guide you, but you have external programs, you have your personality that is shaped from your childhood. Things like your teachers, your parents, television, media, social media, entertainment industry, all these different things are programming you. They might program you to not follow your path, for example. Because you might come here to, let's say, be a healer and help someone with your capacity on one-to-one basis, but all these different programs tell you that you should be a millionaire or whatever, right? You should be successful, you should make money, and then you start getting programmed a little bit, hacked by the system, and you start not following your path. And this is where you start maybe forcing things, right? So you're still gonna be attracting situations, people that gonna help you to unfold whatever the path you're choosing, but they won't necessarily be coming in an organic, synchronistic way, because you are misaligned now and you're starting to force things. It's very often it's going to be forcing things, right? Synchronicities will be different. So for example, typically what might happen is that you already have some predispositions. This is what you should do. Let's say, I don't know, I want to be an athlete, right? And this is the soul plan, that I'm gonna become an athlete. And you have some predispositions towards it, you start doing it already, and it makes you excited, right? Let's say you're a boxer and you get excited because you're having success in this field, right? So the more excited you are, the more something excites you, the path excites you. Typically, this is the organic path of your soul plan, and the state of excitement, right? This is important. Think about what happens when you are excited about something. You are in a state of happiness, you are relaxed, you are energized, right? And this state of being excited, being happy, being energized, being positive about something, enthusiastic, this starts creating more synchronicities, because what happens is that the law of attraction works better. You are in a way bending reality. You're starting to bring more organically, more aligned things. Think about your state of being when you're in excitement, right? You're energized, alive, right? And this happens often if you're doing something you're supposed to be doing, if you're doing something that you're passionate about, right? But let's take the other example, the opposite, which I mentioned before. When you are doing something that is not aligned with your soul plan, but your programs are telling you this is the good option, let's say making money, being a wealthy entrepreneur, even though you feel, I prefer to be a boxer, I like sport, but this seems like a better option, right? Media tells me that. So you are starting to force things. You might have to do things using anger, pushing things harder. Think about the state you are in, right? The state is lack of harmony, right? You are, for example, stressed. Think about it yourself as a magnet, right, for synchronicities. If the magnet has a lot of energy, it's nice vibration, it's synchronized, you are excited about something, then the events that you attract are more aligned, right? But if you're forcing something, you're doing something that seems like a good option because programming tells you that, but deep inside this is not what excites you, then you still attract things. You still might attract some kind of synchronistic events, but they're gonna be forced. So they're gonna be, for example, misaligned. And this is one thing, right? So typically, your soul plan, you already have some predispositions, you are excited about some path that unfolds, and the more you do something that excites you, the more synchronicity starts occurring, because you are naturally becoming a bigger magnet for attraction, right? The energy of that attraction is more synchronized. So that's one thing to remember, right? Now your higher self is trying to align to you with the goals that are part of your soul plan, right? So again, the more you tune into your higher self, the more you start acting and making choices that are organic, that are allowing you to follow your path, get to the goals that you set up before birth, and you start having more synchronicities. So another very important thing to tune into your higher self and start acting more as your higher self and switch off that programmed mind, that conscious mind, that is programmed from, external programs. So another way to do it is to meditate more, because the more you meditate, right? When you meditate, you try to reduce your thinking, which is your conscious mind. You try to tune into your intuition, to your subconscious, to your higher self. So the more you are in that state, the more you switch off your front end, which is your conscious mind, and the more you are starting to tune into that intuition, to that higher self. So automatically you start aligning path that is more aligned with your soul plan, it's more aligned with your higher self, right? So that's another thing to keep in mind. The more you meditate, the more likely you will have synchronicities as well, right? I remember periods when I used to meditate like up to 2 hours a day and things were just flowing for me. Let me give you an example. I'm walking, having a call with my mom, walking to some kind of Chinese store, 40 minutes walk. The moment she says, okay, let's finish, 40 minutes later, I'm standing in front of the shop, right? Perfect timing, perfect. I go to the shop and they say, oh, we don't accept cards, and whatever the bill was like €5 or something. And I have exactly €5 in my pocket. Exactly. Then I get out of the shop and I see a text from another friend exactly the moment I get out of the store. And he says, okay, let's meet in 5 minutes, a few meters away. So you literally can get into a flow. You start flowing, things start aligning more organically. One thing finishes, the other starts. It's possible to do it, but it requires a lot of effort, a lot of practice, and definitely meditation can increase that. So something to think about. Another thing that I want to mention that I think is important, and I talked about it. If you are on Patreon, I made a video how to connect with your higher self, where I talk about karma. Sometimes what happens is that to get something right, you need to give first. So for example, you want to have some kind of flow of events, right? You want to get somewhere, you have some goals, and life brings you opportunities to help someone. And if you're gonna do it, you're gonna actually help someone. Now you can get something in return because it's energy exchange, it's karma, right? I made videos about karma recently, check it out as well. And a lot of people unfortunately are programmed, so they're gonna miss these opportunities. Let's say a friend is asking you to help this person on the weekend with whatever, cleaning the house, and you're like, no, I'm too busy. And boom, you just lost an opportunity to improve your karma and to get more synchronicities. Unfortunately, most people are programmed to be very selfish, and they are missing on a lot of these opportunities that are actually allowing for more synchronicities in life. Okay, let me give you a bunch of examples of that. I was in Costa Rica. I was there, didn't know anyone. I had to find some apartment. I was planning to stay for a couple of weeks, and I had the last day at this crappy hotel I was staying at. I just booked some random hotel, I needed a place tomorrow. And I asked my higher self to help me. I get out, start working my laptop. Some guy comes over. He's selling necklaces, such as like this one, similar to this one. And I'm like, I don't really need a necklace from him. So I could tell him, no, thank you, I'm not interested. But I felt like, yeah, I like what he's doing. He was selling these necklaces. He tells me that he's making them on his own, by hand, that he is traveling South America because he can support himself through what he's doing. So I felt like, okay, this is like a nice story, let me help him. Let me buy something from him just to help him. Not because I need that necklace, but I'm gonna give it as a gift to my sister. So I asked for help with finding an apartment. A couple of moments later, I'm giving an opportunity to help someone else. And I could say no thank you, but I decided I'm gonna just buy it from him just to help him. And because of that, the conversation started, and he told me about some apartments that he was actually renting 2 kilometers away, and that the landlord has more apartments there, and this is how I found my place where I stayed for the next several weeks in Costa Rica. I asked for something, but I need to give first to receive. And I've been doing a lot of work on this end, manipulating karma, and because this is what it is, it's really a manipulation of karma. It's not that I'm doing it to gain something, because I do it naturally, but overall think about it as an energy exchange, as a system, right? So to have more synchronicities, sometimes you need to give, because when you build up karma, you get more back, right? You get, I've been in all sorts of situations when I needed something and boom, it would just come out of nowhere. Let's say, let me give you an example. I rented this van to move from one house to another one, whole night of moving items, super exhausted, and I left this car outside and the battery died basically. And I had to give it back. Massive car, no battery, and what should I do? And we actually had to get a plumber, the landlord sent a plumber exactly at the same time to fix something in the house, and this plumber comes in the right moment when the battery died, and he just fixed that for me for free, exactly the same time. So this is just an example, right? But basically the more you give, the more organically you receive when it's needed, when you need that. And that allows you to have more synchronistic flow of events in life, right? So very often to have those synchronicities, you're gonna be presented with opportunities to help. And if you're gonna say no, because most people are, busy or selfish, and they're gonna get like grandma asking them for help, and they're gonna be, sorry grandma, I'm too busy. You're gonna reject these opportunities, and you won't be getting some of the stuff back. You won't be getting these opportunities. All right, so hope this is clear. Hope you're understanding some of these ideas. But basically, you have your soul plan. Check out Robert Schwartz's book, Your Soul Plan. So you have your soul plan, you have some kind of goals, people you're gonna meet, gifts, talents, predispositions, and the more you are following that, the more synchronicities you have, because the more excited you also are about some of these things. That's one of the important things. So excitement, being aligned, following your true path, ignoring programs, things from the outside, that helps with increasing synchronicities. Tuning into your higher self, your intuition. It's not really your intuition. A lot of people like to think about it this way, so I'm trying to kind of use terms that are more familiar with people. Tuning into your higher self that is trying to guide you and show you that subconscious, that intuition. The more you meditate, the more you switch off your conscious mind, the more you tune into your intuition, the more you align with your soul plan, with your higher self, the more synchronicities you have. Another thing. And the third thing, karma. Opportunities to help other people, right? Or environment, or whatever it is. Just service to others, service to the whole, being selfless, less selfish, helping people, helping your family, helping your friends, homeless, whatever it is. When you are presented with an opportunity to help someone, try to do it. Don't think like I'm too busy, because these kind of things start opening synchronicities more for you. Okay, so let me know what you think about this video in the comments. If you have any cool topics that you want me to discuss in spiritual realms, metaphysics, I'm happy to hear. Maybe we can do more videos on the topics from audience. And support us on patreon.com/TruthTheory. Check out different options there. And please share this video if it resonates. That always helps so much if you guys share these videos. If you are listening on some audio version, like some Apple Podcast, places like that, please leave a review if you can. 5 stars would be cool. But it's up to you what you think about it. So thank you for that. And thank you for checking another episode of True Spirituality. Until next time.